Bonjour, salut, hola, welcome back my friends, fellows, and even some slight enemies out there. As you've probably clicked on this video, you've instantaneously realised that yes, my Christmas decorations are up in November. There is nothing you can do about it and you cannot stop me. But honestly, I understand the argument. Yes, I've missed the date. It is not December the 25th, it is currently the middle of November. But honestly, the topic of missing the date is actually a familiar topic throughout this video. Because for example, yeah, I've missed the date of Christmas, but then you move on to a few old influencers who seem to, miss the date that confirms the age of consent. And I have to say, allegedly, of course. But yes, my friends, let's get straight into things. Basically, if you didn't know, a couple of weeks ago, I made a video speaking about a bloke called Destery Smith. Yes, another influencer, just like a lot of others, who was chased off the platform pretty much for being accused of a lot of terrible things, basically some of the worst things you could possibly be accused of, and pretty much there was an absolute avalanche here. There were so many allegations out there about this guy that honestly, I've never ever seen a situation like this. You've got Jimbo Charles, who, whilst we don't really rate Jimbo, even he didn't have as many allegations as Destry did, and when given the chance to defend himself, Destry said this.
While I can't agree with some of the things being said about me, I'm also not completely innocent. I used to be just a terrible person. I was a liar, a cheater. I was a giant man. I am constantly sorry about the person that I was. Even if I was to explain context of some of the things being said about me, not only would it not help people's image of me.
Yes, it's not really the most spectacular of defenses. In fact, I would say it more actually incriminates him. But basically, long story short, this guy is not a very good person. He's pretty much an awful person in my personal opinion, and I would recommend going and watching my first video for further context. But the main issue here is not only is Destry Smith still publishing videos on his YouTube platform, making tweets, Instagram posts, stuff like that, but also Shane Dawson recently hired the man. And naturally, that's a little bit of a controversial move because Shane Dawson has been accused himself of a lot of horrific things, and it's not really good for his own defense that he's now hiring somebody who literally has an avalanche of accusations, and when he tried to defend himself, well, he only further incriminated himself. And ladies and gentlemen, Shane Dawson is no stranger to Destry Smith. This isn't a little old, oh no, Shane Dawson's made a little mistake thing. No, Shane definitely knows who this person is. In fact, Destry Smith a few years ago, was uploading videos onto Shane Dawson's channel itself, as he had a series on there, which really didn't go down too well, and it actually led to Shane unlisting and privating a lot of the videos from that series, probably because they didn't age too well. And aging too well is not something Destry Smith is actually very keen on. Allegedly. Despite an absolute plethora of content creators uploading videos speaking about Destry Smith and his reignited friendship with Shane Dawson, there really wasn't much of a response. In fact, there wasn't any response up until this point. Destry didn't make a main channel video speaking about the criticism, coming out with possibly some new information. Shane Dawson just stayed silent, I'm just gonna hire him, and dug all the criticism under the rug. Pretty much there was absolutely nothing, and it seemed that, being those two who they are, they're just going to pretty much ignore it and hope for the best. But Destry couldn't help himself. Yes, Destry Smith has actually made a response. Why am I sad like this? I don't know. Now, he didn't respond on his main channel, or his main Twitter, or his main Instagram, or his main anything. No, Destry actually recently responded to a lot of the criticism on a YouTube channel with around 6,000 subscribers. Homeless emo father. I mean, Chief, if you are a father, please, for the love of God, can somebody call CPS? Now, this channel most definitely takes a bit of an inspiration from another content creator on this platform. A bloke who, he's not really in the best books of everybody. I think he's called Onision. Takes a lot of inspiration from that channel, because pretty much this is a pity party channel where it's, oh no, please feel sorry for me, guys. It's a horrible year and I'm really sad. Well, you know who else is sad, Destry? All of your victims, and the fact that you're still publishing YouTube videos where you pity party yourself is probably not doing them much good either. And the one video that I want to focus on here is titled Cancel Culture. And yes, my friends, it's always one of my personal favourite little things when an influencer who was basically cast out from society by his best friend, by pretty much everybody accused of some awful things, gives their little perspective on cancel culture, because you know what's cancel culture? All of it. No, it's not. No. The cancel culture is, oh no, somebody made a big old stinky tweet. Somebody tweeted that they like to consume poo sandwiches. Don't know why that came to my mind. I don't like doing that. But that's what cancel culture is. You say something silly and people go a little bit crazy. Cancel culture isn't, oh, by the way, guys, nonce. That's not really cancel culture. That's actually a serious accusation which can actually lead to jail time. But the thing is, my friends, we're actually not going to be directly speaking about this video straight away. We will, and we will go through how absolutely god-awful it is. But the main thing we're actually going to take a look at here is the comment section, because there were there was one critic in the comment section who actually DM'd me this. Kayla made a little criticism, and I'm going to read it to you now. In summary, she pretty much says that yes, Destry has not been cancelled, and if anything, it's just the consequences of his own actions. And honestly, I think this comment does sum it up perfectly. These things aren't cancel culture, and the fact that people are willing to middle it in with cancel culture is absolutely pathetic and an absolute joke of a response. And yeah, this is just a very, very good criticism of Destry and just in general of this video. And this isn't the first time that Destry has faced criticism. In fact, this isn't the 60th time. This isn't the 70th time. Destry Smith has been criticized hundreds, if not thousands of times. But the fact is, up until this point, Destry has ignored it all. Which, yeah, in my opinion, makes it a little bit weird that the only public response is on a comment section on a YouTube channel with 6,000 subscribers. Nobody knows about this YouTube channel, nobody's ever heard of it other than a few Destry Smith dedicated fans, and honestly, I don't want to go near any of those people. I do not want to see those people in a public supermarket. I do not want to be anywhere near them. Please stay away from me and my dog. Thank you very much. But yeah, what I'm saying is nobody knows about this thing, so Destry feels comfortable here. He feels that he can actually respond to things, because seeing as not really many people know about it, he can now be himself without getting any criticism, i.e. the man's created an echo chamber. But my friends, before we go any further, I actually do like echo chambers. Echo chambers when they're actually criticizing alleged nonsense, not defending them. So if you want, please come over to this channel, click subscribe, like this video, because I'm sure there's going to be some weirdos over here. And honestly, you've seen the Christmas decorations, they don't fund themselves. Please subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. And without further ado, let's actually get into the response. Here's the thing though, I didn't do any of these horrible things. Well mate, that's a little bit of a contradiction. And I'm not saying contradiction based on some of the accusations out there. I'm saying that's a contradiction based on your own words, Sunshine.
I just want to say I am aware of accusations being made against me. And what I can say is, while I can't agree with some of the things being said about me, I'm also not completely innocent in everything.
So Des, given you said that, but also made this comment, I do have the question of, well, what are you? Are you a big stinking nonce, or are you a potential member of a pop punk band that should probably have retired in 2009? But then again, saying you're a part of a pop punk band is pretty much the exact same thing as option number one. But, you know, we're just going to look past that. Basically, Destry, I'm a little bit confused. You've said in that you're not denying everything, but in this comment you are? So what is it? I don't care what anybody is saying, people talking is not proof. That's gossip. What you're describing disgusts me to my absolute core, and no part of me has ever or will ever tolerate it or find it acceptable. What things I can own up to, I have. But me not responding to blatant lies about me and my character is not weakness. Firstly, Destry, you can't really say this when this comment alone is a response, but also, as we've referenced throughout this entire video, in my previous video, you have a response on your YouTube channel with over 100,000 views. And yes, it's unlisted, but you have definitely responded to the allegations in this situation. Now, you haven't directly defended yourself, but you certainly have acknowledged the allegations and responded to them. It's just, your response wasn't a defense. It was just saying, I'm not going to actually defend myself, but I'm going to acknowledge that these things exist. So you can't even play blissful ignorance that you've just never seen the avalanche of allegations. You've seen them, and you're not willing to actually defend yourself, which, you know, it just basically, in my opinion, says that, oh, you are definitely guilty of the things that, you have been accused of. Maybe not all of them, but definitely a lot of them, again, in my opinion, especially when you yourself have said that even if you did defend yourself, it really wouldn't change the situation.
Even if I was to explain context of some of the things being said about me, not only would it not help people's image of me.
So yes, Destry, that was you responding to all of the allegations, but you weren't defending yourself. You were seemingly incriminating yourself. You can do both in a response, and you definitely chose one of those options. And I think the reason for that is probably because you yourself don't have any ways of actually defending yourself. And as I said in my previous video, you've gone down the old moral high ground route of saying, well, you know what, guys, I'm bigger and better than this, and I don't like cancel culture. Mate, you've been accused of a serious crime. Get a fucking grip. And Destry, I did notice in your comment you also mentioned weakness, saying that this thing doesn't mean you're weak and it doesn't show weakness. But Destry, this is the absolute definition of weakness. Your only response to a severe amount of allegations with multiple people like myself coming out and speaking about them, videos of hundreds of thousands of views out there, your only response, publicly available right now, is a comment on a hidden YouTube channel that nobody has heard about. That is literally the definition of being a coward. It's cowardice. It's pathetic. You do not have any signs of the opposite of being weak. You aren't strong. This is a weak response, because not only have you actually not provided a real defense of yourself, you've just basically given us all a pity party, and that's exactly what this channel is. Mate, you may not like it, but you have created this. You are this. You are a coward. But aside from that comment, we need to move away from that and actually take a look at the video itself which this comment is on. And as I said, it's titled Cancel Culture. And yes, you don't even need me to give the commentary. This is obviously going to be the most horrific thing you've ever witnessed in your entire life, but it gets even worse when you realize that this video is pretty much just Destery using the Amber Heard Johnny Depp court case defamation trial as a way to defend himself. And as you heard me earlier, I said that this channel is him pretty much doing Onision cosplay, and this is basically exactly that. This is a completely flat out of Onision's book, and if anything, it's actually slightly worse.
So it's been a few weeks since the whole Amber Heard trial went down, and I'll be honest, I was following it pretty closely. Like, I was watching it pretty much every day, and not only because I was like a Johnny Depp fan, still am a Johnny Depp fan, but also the whole trial really was a reflection on cancel culture as a whole.
No, it wasn't. It was a defamation trial surrounding the topic of domestic abuse. To litter it down to cancel culture, it's just insane, but it's also incredibly deliberate, because what he's doing here is pretty much cancel culture is now a buzzword which a lot of people that get accused of serious things like to throw out there, because instantly you hear cancel culture and think to yourself, oh no, the terrifying bad thing of the bad people, the social media is coming for the people that don't deserve it. That's what people think when they hear cancel culture, and that's why people like this are deliberately taking accusations, very serious accusations, and branding it as cancel culture. As I said earlier, cancel culture is when people go completely, absolutely over the top when somebody gives a bit of a silly opinion. And even then, me saying that opinion is silly is just my opinion. Now, what isn't an opinion is a serious allegation and you not defending yourself in those allegations. By you doing that, you are only going to face consequences. This is the consequences of your own actions. This isn't cancel culture. This is consequences.
One thing we can all agree on is that Johnny Depp did not want to be in this trial. Like, to have his life out there for the public to scrutinize, to dig through, but he had to in order to tell his truth and to come back from the slander and stuff that Amber Heard had done to him. And one thing that he said pretty early on in the trial is that he is not okay with the way of the world where in this day and age, you are guilty until proven innocent and not the other way around. And as someone who has personally been affected by cancel culture, I can say like 100% agree.
And there it is, my friends. This guy does absolutely not care about this situation. He does not care about this court case. But Des, our old boy, just wanted it. And I have to reiterate, our old boy, because he is a grown man. And, you know, some of the allegations, you know what I'm saying here. But Destry only wanted this court case to go in a specific way because he could then take that specific way that the court case went and use it for some personal self-gratification as a way to, justify his deflection of the criticism surrounding him. It was a way for him to really say to himself, you know what, boys? I'm absolutely fine. And Destry, I do just have to say, not every abuse or alleged abuse case is identical, exactly the same. Everyone is unique in their own sense, Not everything has the exact same context, and they are all incredibly different. And to compare a domestic abuse case, and I know it was a defamation case, but it surrounded the topic of domestic abuse, but to compare that to your own situation with allegations makes me think that you genuinely think that allegations of abuse are like fucking top trumps. Mate, you don't have the same fucking the same stats or magical powers. You're not playing Magic the Gathering here, mate. You're playing defend yourself against allegations, which you didn't do, which is actually quite funny because you're using this case of Johnny Depp, but Johnny Depp and Amber Heard both in this case defended themselves. You didn't do that. So how could you even use this as an example? And Destry, let's just go through this together. Let's go through a little quick step-by-step guide to why I think you in this situation are completely in the wrong, and here is why. Number one, you were an absolutely beloved YouTuber who had a very dedicated fan base, and then you saw that, exploited that, and took advantage of that dedicated fan base. Number two, people got tired of that, upset by that, and realized that they were being taken advantage of, and they came out with their allegations, an avalanche of allegations, where screenshots were posted, texts were posted, and as I've mentioned previously, even your friends said that, yes, I am no longer going to be friends with this guy because he is not a good person. Number three, you then responded to those allegations in a video where you said that you're not going to defend yourself because your defense will actually not change the situation. And then you even hid that response. And number four, the only public response you have currently available is still you saying that you're not going to defend yourself. Have you thought about this for a second? How are you going to get angry at the entire world for saying, oh yeah, if he's not going to defend himself, all those things are probably most definitely true? How can you see past this logic? Because we've given you the opportunity plenty of times, probably more times than you actually deserve, to defend yourself, and each time you have incriminated yourself and made things even worse. So how could you get angry at me for saying these things when you don't even give me anything to actually possibly think something opposite to these things? Think about this for a second. It's insane to me that you're getting angry at us when you are the one that's done nothing to help yourself.
I used to be just a terrible person.
I mean, could somebody give me some advice here? Who am I meant to, side with here? Am I meant to side with the people that actually are giving a story and a situation and context to things? Or am I meant to side with the guy that says nothing? Think about that. And the sad reality is, my friends, this is an ongoing issue, particularly with a lot of famous influencers or just famous people in general, where they are now conflating cancel culture with absolutely anything. They will be rightly criticized, and I'm not just talking about abuse here, I'm talking about pretty much everything. Somebody could be criticized for promoting a crypto scam, and they would dub it as cancel culture. Somebody could be criticized for just doing something absolutely terrible, and they would dub it as cancel culture. And the weird reality is people that probably don't have much of an understanding of how the internet actually works will eat that up, because everybody now knows what the word cancel culture is. You even hear politicians mentioning woke cancel culture, and they use that and weaponize that to pretty much just fucking dig their horrible actions under the ground and hope nobody remembers them. And that is exactly what Destry is doing here. You can't compare yourself to anybody in this situation, Destry. You are your own man. Actually own up to it, you absolute fucking coward. This is genuinely pathetic and one of the most cowardice things that I've ever seen. I mean, I've been bringing up Onision in this whole thing, and whilst I think that man is also absolutely despicable and indefensible, at least Onision tries to defend himself. You, my friend, don't defend yourself, and then you get angry when everybody thinks, oh, well, if you're not going to defend yourself, you probably are all these horrible things. It makes no defense. You're a coward and you are pathetic. But my friends, the whole thing just gets absolutely ridiculous and honestly kind of exposes the real reason that he's made this video in the next part that we're about to go over, because pretty much he doubles down on his reasonings for not actually making a defense of himself, because his defense of not defending himself is he doesn't want to perpetuate cancel culture. Oh my god. When you say it out loud, it's truly a fucking terrible, terrible mess of a response. You don't want to perpetuate cancel culture? My friend, you didn't make a silly tweet. You are being accused of being a nonce.
If someone ever says anything bad about you, the kind of general consensus of what to do to combat that is to bark back, is to say, no, here's why you're wrong, and everything you said is a fucking lie and bullshit. And the problem that I have with that is just that it perpetuates cancel culture. You are never out of it. You see what I mean? Like, even if you were able to disprove every, like, negative thing ever said about you, all you're doing then is just shifting the blame to someone else.
Mate, you weren't accused of stealing somebody's Minecraft diamonds. You weren't accused of, I don't know, hacking somebody's Facebook and making a cringy tweet or post or whatever you call it on Facebook. You weren't accused of doing that. You were accused of swindling, diddling kids. You were accused of the worst possible crimes. So what is this?
It perpetuates cancel culture.
It's not perpetuating cancel culture. It's actually giving yourself a criminal defense. Because, mate, I wouldn't be shocked if a police department caught wind of this and thought, you know what? Yeah, maybe we should look into this. Because if he's not defending himself, I mean, there's something going on here. Mate, it's not cancel culture. It's serious allegations. And your immaturity is seriously showing when you double all of these things as cancel culture. Your alleged victims have most likely been extremely damaged by you. That's not cancel culture. That is serious, serious, terrible things, and you are allegedly the cause of that. Realize what you are saying here and realize it is ridiculous. But my friends, the best part about this is despite all of the criticisms of cancel culture in this, Destry then goes on to actually say that, well, no, actually, cancel culture does serve a purpose to get rid of terrible people.
I think that cancel culture serves a purpose when there are genuinely bad people out there. Okay, like, I understand why it exists.
What? Destry, you're one of those people, Destry. That's who you are. And the fact you acknowledge it honestly only makes your case even worse, because you acknowledge that people do go after people who are accused of bad things, especially people that were accused by lots and lots of people. And you acknowledge that and almost say it's pretty much a good thing. But then you don't defend yourself. Des, I think you're actually an idiot. But yes, my friends, in general, this is a god-awful response and it's genuinely quite embarrassing. But I'm not really just making a video about this to say, ha, the big stinking alleged nonce is a terrible person. We already knew that. The main problem is not only is this guy still regularly uploading YouTube videos and even pathetically to channels which really are completely hidden away from criticism like this one, but he's also, as I said in my previous video, now being platformed by a guy with 20 million plus followers, Shane Dawson. And I'm just genuinely confused by this situation, especially given the fact that Shane himself has faced multiple allegations. I had a lot of comments on my previous video saying, Fraser, why did you not bring up the fact that Shane himself has faced allegations of saying and doing terrible things? And, you know, that's a fair criticism. You're absolutely bang on the money. I should have actually brought that up in my previous video. Because, yeah, I mean, I referenced Shane being, you know, cancelled and cast out by social media society, and I was pretty much referencing to that. But directly saying it, I think, is very much a better thing to do. Shane, you have been accused of a lot of horrific things. horrific things basically similar to what Destry has. Maybe not to the same amount of levels, but you definitely have been accused of that. So to then platform somebody like Destry and not even come and give us some information or context to why you've done this, maybe some information which could actually prove all these things to be false, you are only further incriminating yourself as well, because you are now complicit in this by platforming this guy to your young impressionable fans. And whether you want to say it or not, Shane definitely does have some young impressionable fans out there, and he's now got somebody who was well known for DMing young fans, and he is allowing that person to fester on his platform whilst also promoting him and promoting their friendship. And if Shane's impressionable fans see this, not all of them, but some of them may think, oh, he's friends with Shane Dawson, I'm gonna go message him, because that's how it works when you know big YouTubers. The amount of people that have messaged me to try and, I guess, get to know me because I know another big YouTuber is quite embarrassing, and obviously I don't respond to those people, but you know, it happens with literally anybody who has some form of social media presence, and now Shane Dawson is allowing that to happen, but with somebody who is renowned for abusing that position. And that is genuinely worrying, because Destery in his previous video does say that, you know what, he's basically gonna still make his inappropriate jokes, and he is, you know, I guess a bit of a bad person.
My brand is sexual jokes. My brand is weird, creepy humor. It's always been that way, and it will probably always be that way. It's just who I am, and that's presumably why you started watching me in the first place.
So by saying this, I'm just a little bit worried that some people are going to actually get taken advantage of here. And whether you hate me, whether you think I talk about Shane too much, I can get that. But surely you can just, you know, put that aside for a second and think, yeah, you know what, this is genuinely quite concerning. Like, this is a worrying thing, and I think that this shouldn't be allowed. It should be stopped. And I don't understand how Shane isn't actually facing more criticism for this. I'm not calling for cancel culture as we've been speaking about. I'm just calling for more people to chat about this, because I'm actually quite fascinated by the fact that so many people, and you're entitled to make your videos about these things, but so many people are now making videos about Shane's makeup palette, his series, but weirdly not anything about this. And for me personally, I don't know if it's because I speak about these topics more than others, and I'm not putting myself on a god pedestal here. I understand that, you know, some people don't want to speak about this, perfectly entitled to, but I think if you are going to speak about Shane, you should at least acknowledge these things, or just spread the word, because this is genuinely quite a dangerous situation, and I think that this could lead to some bad, worrying situations and worrying things. And I just said worrying multiple times, and that wasn't really good English of me, but you know what I'm saying here. I'm a little bit confused by why nobody is really speaking about this. I'm confused to why Shane even thought this was a good idea, and honestly, some people have made some very good comments on my previous video about this, saying bad people surround themselves with bad people in order to make themselves feel more comfortable, and honestly, that's what I'm going to have to take from this. And as somebody that is a former fan of Shane Dawson, a very big fan in fact, the guy's content at one point was very inspiring to me, and I very much enjoyed it and watched every video. It's just disappointing. It really, really is just sad. And I mean, he can go and make all these boring series with Jeffree Star. He can make the 9,000th series with him, but I don't think it should be watched if this is a guy who is willing to platform Destery Smith. That's worrying. That's genuinely disturbing, especially given the fact that Shane himself has cut ties in the past with people like Onision, but then he's basically hiring Onision Light. What am I meant to take here other than saying, yes, this is obviously awful, but that is the ending of this video. Please, for the love of God, Destery Smith, I mean, you're not going to, but just make a video about it, mate. Just actually come out, because you can't get mad at me for criticizing you when you yourself won't give me a defense to even look at. You're just incriminating yourself constantly and giving pity parties. And I know I've repeated that about 1,000,000 times now, but yeah, I'm going to end the video here by saying this whole thing's weird, it's very confusing, and it's honestly very worrying. Thanks for watching. Next video isn't pretty much any positive at all. We're going to be speaking about a peculiar person who has been doing a weird spiral recently, and I'm not going to say who, but they definitely do love Korea. Well, they did love Korea, and yeah, please like this video because I'm sure there's going to be some nut jobs in the comment section. Please comment your opinions and thoughts down below, and most importantly, please share this video. Well, you don't even have to do that. Just get the word out there. I mean, I'd appreciate the share because I blooming love getting the numbers up and all, you know, everybody does. I'm not going to pretend that I don't. But, you know, I think the most important thing is obviously getting the message out there about this situation. So if you don't want to share this, at least go tweet about it, DM your nan about it, even your great granddad. And if he's dead, just go to his grave, put some flowers down and say, Granddad, did you hear about Destry Smith? Might be a big nod. You know, that might do something. I don't know why I said that. That's the end of the video. Have a lovely day, and we're back to regular uploads because I'm no longer in New York, but I will speak about that more in future videos. Peace out.